Hi friends, Renee Keese here with Carolina Creative. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm here with more card making ideas for you. Today we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, but I'm still in a wintry mindset. So I'm going back to all the pretty papers from Nests of Winter. What I'm going to do, you can see I've been working on this set, so there's scraps of paper in there. I'm going to be using, this was a 12 by 12 sheet. And so I'm going to use a section of this for my focal point today. And I can show you, I've already cut this down. So it's 5 inches by 3 3/4. And I'm going to mat that on top of my card base. I'll go over that in a minute. And then I'm still using some of these cute little birds on this piece. It's a little bit busy, but you're going to see as I'm going to die cut. I've got I like the deckled circles, so I've got a deckled circle here, and you can die cut some of these birds out and then use them as another focal point. So the first thing that I want to do is, because I'm going to mat my birds here with cherry cobbler, I'm going to go ahead and cut another circle. This is one of my shortcuts. Another circle out of this to use with my paper. So with that being said, I'm going to flip the camera down here to my work area. You should be able to see my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So I'm going to make just a standard sandwich. And because I have that big piece of paper, I don't know that I can run them both through at the same time, unless I cut the bird out, which is what I think I'm going to do. It'll just save me some time if I cut around where I know I want to get the bird. So let's do that. I'm just cut a jagged edge here. And what you're going to see is I have a straight edge, but this is going to work to my advantage because of the design that I have in mind. So I'm going to get as much of the bird in the paper as I can, but I'm going to leave that straight edge. And then I'm also lining up just in the middle because the paper's going to cover that. All right, standard sandwich. I've got my 2 number 3 plates. I will run this through. And out the other end will come my deckled circles. I think this is actually a retiring die, and I'm kind of disappointed because I really like this. I think it's just a fun little, subtle, but a fun little shape. All right, I can now get this out of my way and show you what I'm working on. So, here's my Winterly Treetops, the Nests of Winter Suite, and paper that I'm using. I picked cinnamon cider for my card base. You will see, well, I left my piece of paper there. You will see how this is all going to coordinate with colors that are in this paper. So when I mat this, like so, as soon as I get it lined up, you can see how it'll go together. I will mount this and then trim the edge so it'll look like it's coming off the paper. Now, I'm going to start on the inside. This card, I went looking just for a subtle sentiment, so I found in an old set, it says "For You," and that's what I'm going to stamp on the front once I figure out how I'm going to position things. Literally, this could be birthday, thinking of you, sympathy. In the end, this is just going to be a sweet little scene. It could be absolutely anything. So what I'm going to do is on the inside, just keep it simple. To coordinate with the Pussy Willows on the front, I'm going to stamp a couple of these right here. And that's it. I'm going to wait because I can either write a sentiment on the inside or later on I can stamp it if I decide it is going to be birthday or sympathy or whatever it's going to be. So to simplify and not have loose pieces, I'm going to go ahead and insert this, adhere it to the inside like that. Okay, I'm ready to build the front. So I have cut that circle out and it's going to be hidden. You're not even going to know it was there. I'm now going to go ahead and mount my designer paper right on my coordinating colored frame. So this is simply going to give about 1/4 of an inch, maybe it's more like 1/8 of an inch on all sides. So I have an extra color. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my circles here because then I can trim that down to size and decide where I want to put it. So I do want to center this so that I have even amount of red on all the sides. Let me grab my trimmer and do a quick run through. You'll be able to see I've started working on Valentine cards, so that's coming very soon. And I'm just going to eyeball this, but line this up along the edge. Luckily, I can see in the groove here and make sure that it's lined up straight. So let's make a first pass. And I think I got it. Bye, George. So this is trash. And this is for my card. So now I'm ready to do some final assembling. I'm going to glue that down. I'm thinking this is going to fill the space up here. I mean, it could be down here too. Let's think about that. No, I really do like it up there. And because my stamp is so small, I think I can put For You just up in the corner there. Depending on where the birds are in that paper, you know, quite honestly, what piece, what section you're using would determine where you want to place this circle. You might want to flip it if the bird goes the other direction and you've got a space there, you know, or you could, again, put it on this side. There's a lot of different things you can do with this paper. But this one is calling me and telling me this needs to be over here. So I'm going to use dimensionals for that. I'm going to go ahead and pop it off. As I said, I thought I had one that I was working on, but that's okay. I have so many of these open now, it really doesn't even matter. I just grab whatever I find in the moment. So I'm going to, 3 or 4. It's not quite a full circle, but I think that will support it. I might stick one more there before I'm done, before I attach it, just to be safe. And I went ahead and got all the backings off, even though that's not real critical. As you're about to see, I'm going to stick a 5th one on and not even bother to remove the backing. I just want the height. I want the support from the height. So I'm going to let some of the paper show there, but I'm going to put this all the way to the edge of my Cherry Cobbler cardstock. And that gives me one more bird. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I'm staying with that, to me it's a burgundy cranberry color. I know they call it Cherry Cobbler, but to me it's just a nice rich burgundy. So maybe I'll move this over here. Nope, I think I like it here. Like I said, a lot of choices. So it's a very subtle little sentiment. I will go ahead and use Stampin' Seal. Let me get all my ink out of the way on this, just to make sure it's well adhered. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. And I'm going to center this up. And then the last 2 things I want to do is just a little bit of bling on this. I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella, and I had 2 bows laying here. I've always got bows. I tie extra bows when I'm tying bows. So I've got a little bit, this was actually cinnamon cider. So this is retired, this is older, but I like this color. And it's almost the same as copper clay. So I was just gonna put a little bow maybe under my circle here. And I'm leaning toward, this is too much bling. It needs to be a little more natural and subtle. So what I wanna do is put some shimmer, here's my Wink of Stella, on the birds. I want them to kind of pop right off the page so that when somebody picks up this card, if you hold it to just a little bit of light, I'll give some of these leaves and berries a little sparkle too. He's kind of my focal point. But when somebody picks this up, I want, oh, you know, look at that. You can see the shimmer. So let me put a glue dot behind my little knot. That's all this is just a knot. And I'm going to put it right directly under. And then if I decide it's still too big, and it might be just a smidge, I'm just going to give it a little haircut. A little trim there, and a little trim here. And I don't mind that it's hanging over that edge of the card because, yeah, it's just fine. Tighten it up. Yep. So there you have it. Let me flip my camera back up. I used the paper from Nests of Winter. That's the suite, which I believe is retiring. It'll be gone December 31st. I cut out of the paper another bird. You could have stamped a bird. That's the other way to do it. Kept the sentiment very simple. Could be any occasion you wanted this to be. Thinking of you, birthday, anniversary, sympathy. So you can either stamp another sentiment inside, or you have plenty of place to write, your own message. So that's my card making tip for today. If you like the products and the projects you've seen here, you can find me at Carolina Creative or hashtag Carolina Creative. And I'm also on the Stampin' Up! Network, Renee Keese at stampinup.net. Thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned for the next video.